This video is going to cover placement of henna on the body. First things to know are the hands stain the darkest. Palms especially, followed by the back of the palm, and then the arm is pretty good, and as you go, even this part of the arm stains decently, but it's going to be like a medium stain. But the farther up the body you go, the lighter the stain gets. Any area that sweats more or is oily is not going to stain as well. So you could try a necklace, but not only is that going to be hard to apply, you'll have to get basically whatever skin you want to have henna on it needs to be parallel to the sky and facing the sky. That can be kind of hard to be leaning back in a chair and that type of thing. And it may not stain as well. So if you're at a party where it's being offered by the host for free, sure, try it. But if you're paying for it yourself, just be aware it's going to be lighter. And even if you're not oily in these areas, the skin is different. So your palm skin is different than most of the rest of your skin, but the back of the hand is a good place because if you get it here, now the whole day you've got to go around kind of not as able to use your hand. While it's drying, you can't be doing things like this. After it's dry, you still, want to avoid this. It won't smear as much, but it'll crumble off. And so your hand is out of commission. Now, if you're about to go to sleep and you're going to wrap it, that can be easier to deal with. But here, it'll stain nicely, and you can still use your hand like this. So if you're at a festival environment, or pretty much any scenario besides going to bed as soon as it dries, this is probably the best area after this. Because it's not, some people get very into, oh my gosh, I want the darkest stain possible. Why? That's cool and it'll give contrast, but not everyone would agree that darker has to be better. And, you can still see the design, and I think the design is more important than the darkness. So those are elements to be aware of, depending on the kind of clothing you're wearing that day. So if you're wearing a sleeve that comes down to here and you want to design here, you can roll it up while it's being applied, but what are you going to do the rest of the day? Is it just going to unroll? Is it going to get into the henna? Is it going, are you okay with that sleeve getting stained? Because it probably will. Are you okay with the design? Are you okay with holding it for at least half an hour while the design dries at least, so it's not being smeared? But even after it dries, you can still stain your sleeve. Are you okay with that? Are you someone who's very clumsy and is going to bump into things and smear it? Many times there will be a charge to redo parts. If it's one little dot, either it's probably not that crucial to the design and you won't even notice, and you might not get charged to do one little dot if the artist is not very busy. But if you've smushed half the design, it's probably not free to reapply. And let's say, I don't know, if you had a necklace, you probably want to take that off if you're going to get that there. If you have bracelets or a watch, you'll want to take that off because even if it mostly stays in the same spot, somehow a workout got started on my watch. The fact that this can move, this design goes up here. So I did this at night, but if you have a watch on, you don't want to get in the way. If you have bracelets, they very much move, and so that will absolutely get in the design. So either put those on the other hand, put them in your purse, put them away, have your friend hold them, whatever. The other day, people were joking about getting something on their face. You kind of can, but it's not ideal for a lot of reasons. The skin doesn't stain very well. Your face is usually oily. Some people have used henna to make freckles. That might show up because it doesn't really matter how dark they are. At that point, freckles come in all shades. But if you're expecting it to be, let's say, Mike Tyson design or something, which people have often done in face painting, it could also end up very uneven because the skin on your face is not of equal thickness, and under your eye is thinner than down here, and different parts of the face are oily to different levels. And a lot of people might like to get a permanent tattoo somewhere like the lower back, but henna, most people don't ask for it, thankfully. But again, that's going to be hard to be in that, there's not usually going to be an easy way to position yourself to make that happen unless you're draped over a chair or table and you're just kind of hanging out kind of in an uncomfortable position, it's not going to stain that well. Your shirt's probably going to get on it. Your waistband's probably going to get on it. If you have a backpack, that would smush it. And it's not going to stain that great. So usually that's not something that's asked for. When pregnant ladies get pregnancy belly henna, it's really cool. And I would say the great pictures are when it's freshly on and has the paste, because that's going to be the darkest. That area won't be staining as well. I mean, it's a tradition and it's a fun activity because it's a unique experience to have. Like, some people call it like a belly blessing. And for that reason, I would say it's worth it. But again, the pictures when the paste is on make the most sense. And the skin on the stomach in general is not going to stain as well, but also the fact that it's stretched out means it's thinner, which also would affect the stain. So again, that's more of a celebration, kind of like a baby shower, something to do at a baby shower, a unique activity, take pictures while the paste is on, more than, oh my gosh, look at my cool art. Because also most pregnant ladies are not then walking around with their belly on display for the world. It's kind of more for themselves. So again, the stain doesn't need to be seen from 50 feet away. That's probably one of the biggest benefits of a stain being dark, is that you could see it from farther away, but you can't really see the design at that point anyway. You have to come close to see what is actually there. So in general, in a festival environment, most people are getting their backs of their hands and their arms. Some people upper arms. Once in a while you'll get someone trying to do this, or back here. Most people haven't really asked for legs. I think the calves are a good place because it will stain decently dark, and plenty of people have plenty of real estate on their calves to create a more round, fun design. I mean, I have very muscular calves, so mine are pretty round. And then the side of the calf too, like facing the outside, I think it looks cute, kind of in the way that, boots up to the knee look cute. Ankles can be tricky because, again, the shoe can be, if your shoe strap is over that area, it's not going to work for that day, unless you want to go change into flip-flops or something. But sometimes if you can sit long enough to let it dry, then you could put a sock over it. If that sock is snug, you could be okay, but you could also, in fact, I recently had one where it got all smushed. It wasn't just a sock. I just put the tape on when it wasn't dry yet. So you run that risk. So, and if you're walking all day and it's on the ankle, it's probably going to crumble off before it has a chance to stain. So it's probably a good thing that most people are not getting them in that area at a festival. Also, it can cost more to put the same design on the feet because it's harder on the artist's body. It's harder for everybody to finagle into that position. So again, at festival type environments, this is usually the best. This. But these are things to be aware of when choosing where to put your henna design. And certain designs, like if it's a long, thin design, if it's small, it could be meant, like they call them like henna strips. And certain designs maybe like there's more space for it to go long here. But if it's like a big fat flower, that could be different. Some designs can be made larger or smaller. If someone wants just like a word or two, that could be adjusted for size. But if they want a whole quote, you might need more space, and that might mean going to an area that will stain less deeply, but at least you have the space, like the back, let's say. So this amount of detail may not be relevant if you're just getting a design at a festival, but let's say you're having a private appointment and you want to have as much skin that can be covered in that time. That's where this information might be more relevant. So private appointments can be fun. I would say you get a lot more for your money, because even though you might be spending several hundred per hour or a few hundred per hour, the amount of designs you can get in that time, if you had to buy those same designs at a festival, basically there are $15 designs I do in 30 seconds. Designs that are like $30 to $50. Let's see. The other day I did one that was $60 and I did it in about 12 minutes. And I paused a few times, I think. Most designs that are like 30 to 50, are around 5 minutes or less, like 3 to 4 minutes. So if you take that amount, put that into how many you can do in an hour, even if you invite friends over, it can be more cost effective to do a private appointment and split it among friends. And now, for $30 to $50 each, you're getting designs that might be closer to $100 each or something along those lines. So things to think about.